why was I made myself so miserable? Because I was caught up. I was hanging out with the wrong people, bad influences, people that are all caught up in what other people are doing, envious of everybody, and negative thinking. You know,
And once you pivoted from that, you felt like that kind of like that, not an aha moment, but aha period of time made a big difference for you.
You got to be okay with, and I'm 100% okay with exactly where I'm at. There's people out there that are doing way more volume than me. And I'm like,
oh, me.
Good, you. Congratulations. No, it's hard work to do all that.
Well,
but I'm at a level that I never thought I would ever get to.
Yeah.
You know, I used to think, God, if I can just have a paycheck of $50,000 one month. Well, hell, I've had a ton of those. I've had over $100,000 paychecks.
Yeah. And how does that feel? Isn't that
it feels great, but what's interesting is as soon as you solve the stability issue in your life where you don't have enough money just to be stable, once you check that off, what's interesting is you're glad for the checks.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
It's a milestone.
It's a milestone. Yeah. But you're more into the relationships you have that help create that on a consistent basis.
And appreciative for
and you
that.
focus on those things. That's where the joy is.
Yeah. And then to that point, you know, the paycheck ends up being a residual of the efforts, right? And of the relationship building.
That's a derivative of that's a good way to measure. Okay, this is really working. Here's proof.
The input and then the output, right?
Yeah.
And same for me, you know, like there were forever I was like, oh man, you know, I just couldn't get to $1 million in income, right? And then you hit it, and then you're like, okay, now I want to. For me, it was like, okay, I hit it. Now that's my expectation. Now I want to blow past it, and then you want to go $1.5 million or whatever it might be north of that, and you go.
What was your best year? $1.8 million
in mortgage.
You had a crazy.
Yeah, it was close to 2, and then
awesome.
and then you have, and then, but then you also. I have the other endeavors, you know, investments in other areas, whether it's real estate related and all that. Right.
That's probably the next thing I need to work on now that I've got plenty of money in the bank.
Yep.
It's consistently coming in. Now let's start investing, you know, in, you know, balanced portfolio with my equity guy.
Okay.
And then let's start looking at, you know, commercial stuff, or, you know, look for the right investments you could put money into with some other partners and grow that money.
So to my detriment in some areas, and then other areas, you know, I've done quite well, but you know, I've always been the one that of the mindset that get it in, get it out. Make that big change, get it out in the streets, because if it's sitting there and it's not working for you, it's earning nothing.
Right.
And I don't want to feel fat and happy. I don't want to feel fat and happy. Right. And for me, like I said, sometimes that didn't work because I made some foolish investments as a younger man. But as I have a family with younger kids and a wife who's a few years my younger, I know that I can't make those same mistakes like I made before. So much of it that I've done recently over the last few years have been real estate related. And we're in great markets. And then those endeavors that I've invested in that aren't in real estate are with people that are really, really good at what they do in an industry that they are championing. You know, an example would be, you know, Brandon with Canteen and Cantina. And, you know, that's something where you invest in somebody that, you know, they have those stripes on the wall. You know that they're at the pinnacle at what they do, and you trust them, you know, with those investments. And then you spread or what I have is you put some here. I mean, in a rock crushing company, for God's sake. You know, I've got a lot of money invested in a rock crushing company in West Texas. Now, what I did out in West Texas and Eastern New Mexico, boy, that was painful in a lot of ways, right? But it helped build relationships.
I don't know how you did that.
I don't know how I did
and do your originating too.
Even just talking about it, I just start to
and stuff.
But what it did is I had a choice. Either let it kill you or you kill it, right?
Right.
And if it's not going to kill you, help it make you stronger. And that was the only choice that I had. And was it hard as hell? Yes. Does it?
Well, you were on the hook for some stuff.
I was on the hook for some stuff, so, you know, and I stepped out there and put it on the chopping block, and, you know, and it's either it gets chopped off or you move it real fast, you know. But, you know, point being is that you then make relationships with other people in the industries that they specialize in the rock crushing company, or, you know, the apartments that we have out there, or the shipping container housing, you know, that are associated, you know, in that industry of oil and gas, where it's like, okay, you know what? Those are throwing off some nice returns. You know, those cap rates are awesome, or the rock crushing company is, you know, growing exponentially. So where for me that is relevant for you is your investment strategies. Right now you said that you're taking advantage of the traditional 401ks, of course, and I'm sure First United
Max
does
that
some sort of a
out,
match. Okay.
Roth IRA.
Okay. What else are you doing?
Just saving tons, really.
So is it in a cash account?
It's in a cash account, and then we're going to start
anything in CDs?
No, nothing right now, but we're going to start actually putting that into investment vehicles here starting next year. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with our stock market here and see if we're going to.
Man, it seems like it's a wait and see, especially with this economy the way it is.
But not do speculative kind of stuff. Invest in blue chip companies that
that throw off dividends. And don't worry about the value of the stock. If it's throwing off dividends and has for,
I'm thinking Tesla might be a buy.
Tesla,
long term.
Coca-Cola is a great example. Just a stable, brand. The brand is there, and they throw off dividends. Maybe it's a 4% dividend, but then whatever the stock is, and you don't worry about that, right? And if you can, have some, whatever your portfolio structure is like, have some, 25% here, 30% there, 15% there. What about real estate? Yeah, I mean, you're in this world.
Well, we've got our house.
Yeah.
So the next step would be to probably, look at buying an investment property.
Would you do single family, or would you do multifamily, or
probably single family, unless you can find some some multi-unit kind of stuff that's where you can get the kind of tenants you want to have in there.
Yep.
So
well, and also in the right environment. Like through COVID, you had some multifamily housing and even single family housing where you've got to pay the mortgage on the loan. The people aren't, the state laws or whatever the local laws are allowing for them to be able to live rent free without paying you because of COVID.
That's scary.
That is scary, right? And so that's something that we have to always keep in mind as well. But I'm as you know from my portfolio, I'm heavy in real estate because that is something that some of it is dirt. Yeah, you can't take that dirt away from me.
Right.
As far as I know, at least in this country, you can't.